Hello, 7th graders. It's Miss Giza King here. I'm going to be reading day 11 and discussing day 12 today. So let's get right into day 11. Okay, adaptation worksheet, life as a fish. So from now on, I think most of the teachers have wanted you to do a Google Doc. I know from my students, I want you to answer this on a Google Doc. So have another tab, Google Doc open, and label it Adaptation Worksheet, Life as a Fish. Okay, meet Molly. She's a young mimichug living in the Elizabeth River like her mother, her grandmother, her great-grandmother, and her great-great-grandmother. When Molly's great-grandmother was young and living in the Elizabeth River, there was less pollution, which means great-grandmama Chug enjoyed a clean river. Her habitat was an unpolluted river, but the river has changed, and Molly and her family are adapted to her changed environment so that she can survive in this polluted river. How is Molly adapted to her environment? Well, when her grandmother was young, people built a factory nearby, and the factory released some chemicals into the river. These chemicals can give fish and people heart problems, cancer, and other diseases. Can you guess what happened? Many fish had unhealthy hearts and eventually died, but some of them, like Molly's grandmother, were different from the other fish. Their bodies were able to defend themselves against the chemicals. Even though these fish got sick, they were able to keep living and have children. Molly's grandmother passed this ability to her baby, Molly's mother, Mama Chog. Now Molly and all the other young mimichugs living in the Elizabeth River are able to live in the polluted river. That's good news. Adaptations are changes or differences that help an organism survive or passed on from one generation to the next. These mimichugs have adapted to the new environment in the river. These types of adaptations are called physiological adaptations because their bodies are physically changing. Behavioral adaptations are changes in the behavior that help an organism survive, like the type of food it eats, how it finds food, or where it lives. But there's some bad news to this story too. The fish have to put a lot of energy into protecting their hearts from these chemicals. Fish get energy from the food they eat, just like us. If fish need to use energy to protect their hearts from the chemicals, they won't have as much energy to do other things, important things. Now, even though Molly has a healthy heart, she can't swim as fast or as long as the fish that didn't have the adaptations. She gets tired really quickly. There's a cost to protecting Molly's body from the chemicals, but the danger from the chemicals is so great that surviving the pollution is more important. Scientists call this trade-off a fitness cost, trading one ability for another that impacts the probability of successfully reproducing, that allows a living thing to survive and reproduce. Molly doesn't get very sick, but the cost was losing the ability to swim well. Okay, so short answer questions. Think about Molly's story and how she's adapted to her environment. What are some ways you are adapted to live in your environment? They can be physical or behavioral adaptations. So like right now, I've seen a couple students already answering this, and they're answering it based on adaptations that they're doing right now. With being home and homeschooling, what's an adaptation that you've had to make, mostly behavioral, to get through this time? Or maybe physically, something to do with sleep, maybe? All right, 2, think about how, and remember that I'm not going to pause for you to write your answers, so pause the video while you write your answers. Number 2, think about how the adaptations that make it harder to get sick were passed on from parent to child. What do you think Molly's child will be like? So think about these adaptations. Remember, physiological adaptations, changes that are part of your body that change your DNA, get passed on from parent to child. So what adaptation do you think Molly's child will have? Think about fitness costs and adaptations. An adaptation is a good thing for a fish, but why might fitness costs be bad for a fish? So what's the bad part of the fact that she can fight these chemicals. What did she have to substitute? All right, fill in the blank. Mama Chug had certain strengths that protected her from blank in the environment. Mama Chug had certain strengths that protected her from fish in the environment, Elizabeth River in the environment, cancer in the environment, pollution in the environment, survive in the environment, swim in the environment, adaptations in the environment, or fitness costs. These strengths help Mama Chug fish in the polluted river, and so she passed these strengths on to her children, resulting in stronger population. The strengths helped Mama Chug Elizabeth River in the polluted river. They helped her cancer in the polluted river. They helped her pollution in the polluted river. They helped her survive in the polluted river. They helped her swim in the polluted river. They helped her adaptations in the polluted river. Or they helped her fitness costs in the polluted river. Next, fill in the blank. These changes are called fish. These changes are called Elizabeth River. These changes are called cancer. These changes are called pollution. These changes are called survive. These changes are called swim. These changes are called adaptations, or these changes are called fitness costs. So fill in the blanks with the appropriate answer. You will only use 3 of them. Multiple choice. What is an example of a psychological adaptation in humans? So psychological has to do with your DNA, something about the inside of your body. So getting a suntan at the beach, growing out your hair, having different types of teeth, or wearing clothes. Number 2, trading the ability to do one thing for the ability to do another is called adaptation, camouflage, metamorphosis, or fitness costs. All right, that is the end of day 11. Day 12 is a Bill Nye video. You guys have all done Bill Nye videos. You can open this Google Doc and type your answers in here. Oh wait, first you have to make a copy. So I don't know why I did that. Go to File, make a copy. You have a copy of this. You'll fill in the blanks as you watch the video. I've linked the video right here on your Google Classroom, or you can click the link at the top of the Google Doc. If you double click or right click, yep, there you go. You can then click on this. Okay, once you fill in your answers while you watch the video, if many of you don't know yet, the way to share a Google Doc with your teacher is up here in the right-hand corner. Click Share, and then you'll type your teacher's email address. So it's the first letter of their first name and then their last name. So if you were giving it to Giza King, it'd be A-G-I-E. And most of the time, if you are in your teacher's class, they'll pop right up. So gizaking@altonschools.org. If you have Genestra, K Genestra. If you have Jepson, it would be E Jepson. If you have Mr. Utgard, it would be S Utgard. If you have, I believe, Miss Strickland, it'd be J Strickland, and Miss Casulo is C Casulo, which she still kind of shows up as Gerstenecker sometimes. Okay, I think that is it for this video. I will get on day 13. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.